What's up, everyone? It's Mark Schalero, the owner of MS Classic Cars, and I'm here today with the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Marcello, who is our service manager. I thought it would be a great idea today to do a very quick presentation on this amazing 1966 Chevrolet Biscayne Custom. Kind of give you a little bit of the story and the background, and then as soon as I'm done, Mike and Corey will jump in the car and take you for a wild ride down Route 6 here in Seekonk, Massachusetts. So let's first start off by saying I bought this car a few years ago. It was a new restoration. When I say new, it was a car that was restored, finished in 2018. It really didn't have more than 100 miles on it. We took it from our warehouse shortly thereafter to just do our service as we always do at MS Classic Cars and start to go through the car. I went to the service department and Mike said to me, Mark, this engine that's in this car, it's an oven. And when Mike says it's an oven, it means it has no power. He said it's probably got 250 horsepower at best. The 4-speed transmission with the high gear ratio in the back just made for an uncomfortable, kind of unpleasant, disappointing ride when you got such a cool car that you never really see. So Mike and I collaborated. We came up with a great idea, and that was to pull the engine that was in the car. We wanted to send it to Nat's Engines. Give Nat credit because he did a great job. He's in Seekonk, right up the street from here. He's really good friends with Mike. And the two of them came up with a pump gas engine. It's a 496, and it was dynoed. We have the dyno sheet in here. It put down 562 horsepower, and it had 624 foot-pounds of torque. Again, huge impressive numbers. And again, the goal when we did this was to make it look factory correct. So when we open up this hood here and show it to you in a minute, you will notice the attention to detail that went in there. We even have that cowl plenum air cleaner that we still incorporated with this. As we jumped on and off the project, because we did have the engine rebuilt and everything else, we had to order a ton of parts. Next thing you know, we're taking the suspension off, we're taking the drive shaft off, we're going through the rear end, we're going through the braking system. There's so much information to read. You can see the receipt of what we invested in this car. It was like $42,000 or $45,000. Again, check that out on our website. You can see it in the photo gallery page. But as a decision, we decided not only would we have this amazing motor in this ultimate sleeper, which is what I've dubbed the car, but we decided to put a brand spanking new Tremec TKX 5-speed transmission, of course with overdrive, which was a little bit challenging because Mike had to do some fabrication on the shifter.
Actually, we found an offset shifter that works awesome. No cutting.
Nice. Beautiful. Sometimes when you put engines in cars, doesn't mean that everything works. Transmissions, the way clutches are done, the way transmissions are set up, and the way guys do linkages and shifters and rear ends. But what Mike is so great at, and the team at MS Classic Cars, is making these cars function. So, come a little closer, Corey. Let's take a look here at what we have. And I'll show you this engine quick. This is spectacular. I will guarantee you go on the internet and try to find a Biscayne that even holds a candle to this car. Will not happen. This is a very unique car. These are super cool sleepers. A lot of these were used for fleet cars back in the day, town cars, police cars, things of that nature. They were really a fleet setup. This was a pretty bare bones car from day one. It's probably got some really cool history. I know the car has all of its original sheet metal, but look at the attention to detail that went in here. You guys absolutely killed it in service. We even upgraded the power brakes. That was done from a company, Right Stuff is where we got all of that. But just look how this looks, exactly like General Motors did it. And again, check out this air cleaner that flows right into the cowl, and it pulls the air right through the vents under the wiper arms there. Absolutely killer. Why we're on the subject of the car, before Mike and Corey jump in it and take it for a quick little test drive, I do want to point out that the car does have a beautiful body. It has beautiful paint. The guys in the detail room did an absolutely amazing job. This is not a trailer queen car. I wouldn't even say that it's a true #1 car. I would say it's a stronger #2 car. It's a car that, again, was done so somebody could go out there and enjoy it and drive the wheels off of it. So, first thing I just want to mention, we do have a little imperfection here. I'll use my flashlight. This is underneath the clear coat. There's a little tiny spot here. It's a couple little things here. We think that at some point something must have dripped on here. We were definitely not going to go too deep with a wet sand and ruin this beautiful paint. But I just want to mention it does have it. If I take my flashlight off it, it's something that you barely notice. It looks like maybe a piece of somebody's gray hair. That's how I would reference it. Now, as we walk down the side of it, and again, these are brand new tires. We painted these rims. It does have all of its original glass. That does have a little bit of patina in it. Again, even this driver's seat here, we believe this is original upholstery. Does have a little bit of cracking on here, but once again, we repainted the gauge bezel. We did a bunch of work to the interior. You can see it all on our invoice. The other thing I want to mention, over here on the driver's side rear quarter, there's a little tiny spot here. It's not a chip, it's more just a little imperfection in the body, paint, etc. Not a big deal. You really don't see it because it's on the body line. And the last thing I'll mention is this rear bumper. We believe this is an original rear bumper. The front one was clearly replaced. It's got a brand new grille, a bunch of brand new hardware. But this rear bumper back here does have a little bit of imperfections in it again. Because it is original, I would probably guess it was re-chromed at some point, but if you look in the back side of the bumper, you can definitely tell it's original. But I just wanted today to just do a quick introductory. I don't do as many videos anymore in person as I used to. Again, introduce Mike as the service manager at MS Classic Cars. Do a really quick walk around on this amazing car. We jumped on and off this car for a while in our service department. It's not like we spent the entire time working on it. It was something that we kind of did over time. And again, this car also, I'm just noticing it through the back here, it does have a Gardner exhaust. For anybody that doesn't know, Gardner makes really good factory-like exhaust systems. So it's got a really sweet exhaust. It's not an exhaust that's drowning like you get when you buy a Flowmaster or you get some type of MagnaFlow system or what have you. It's an exhaust system that actually is perfect for this application. So I'll let Mike do the rest of the talking when he's in the car. If he wants to mention anything, we're going to pull it outside, start it up, and take you for a wild ride. We appreciate you watching this video. And as always, rock and roll. Let's do this.
Corey, here we are again. So Mark just did his little thing. Let's fire up the Biscayne and take it for a ride. Nice. I had it running already for a minute because it doesn't have a choke. It's an HP style carburetor. Kind of cool. I forgot the little cold light. There's a light in the dash that says cold. When you start it up, cold, it actually works. And then as it warms up, it goes out. It's kind of neat. We'll let it warm up some more while I'm driving. We'll talk about it. So Mark was saying, I used the word stove. I think he said oven. When we first got the car, took it for a ride. I'm like, man, this thing's a stove, as I would say. Could barely heat water, to be honest with you. So that's when we started talking. We decided, when I took the engine out, I realized it was a 4-bolt 454. I said, Mark, let's do something. So made it a 496, pump gas. It's got a hydraulic roller, rectangle port, Edelbrock head. Well, not too big of a camshaft. I think it's a Comp XE288. So it drives good. I had 456 gears. I took them out. It's too much. Even with the 5 speeds, it's too much. But tried to make it look stock under the hood. HP, full Petronics ignition, even the sneaky little 7mm spiral core wire. It's got their full ignition system with the rev limiter and everything hidden under the dash. I mean, it drives as stock as could be. You'd never know it until I get on it a little bit. It's kind of cold and the roads aren't that great today, but I'll still be able to get on it a little bit, Corey. It's just cold.
smooth too.
I mean, you know, it's made to go in a straight line, right? But
Yeah.
if you want to take it somewhere, go ahead. I mean, I've driven it everywhere. I don't think it ever gets to 180. It's a 180 thermostat. I've never seen it go over it. Nice factory style clutch fan, big heavy duty radiator, aluminum water pump. It doesn't even think about it. Circle. It's nice to have a 5-speed. So easy to drive. We do have some sticky tires on it that are a little cold out, so gotta be careful. Clutch is pretty easy. It's a I believe it's a Cloud Super Street. It's like the one rated for 600 horsepower, but it's not effortless to drive. TKX, and when we changed the gears, I thought 410s, but I ended up doing 373s. I'm glad I did. It's very torquey. It didn't need the 410s. You're gonna drag race it maybe, but I could put it in fifth here in the back road car. Look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't care at all. It's under 1500. You know, I put a 750 carb on it. I mean, it probably wanted an 850, but if they're gonna drive it, it probably wouldn't care if I put an 850. I think it would make more than 562 horse.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine at the track you could get it out of the hole hard enough. You know. I mean, I don't know. I think it's got to get an 11 second. I mean, I can't imagine. It's got to be a high 11 second car. I think once it gets rolling through the gears and pulling.
Oh yeah. I mean, that little pull, it felt good right there.
And it this thing hooks. I mean, it's cold out. These tires, there's 20 pounds in them, but it will. I mean, I don't know how many miles I've put on it, but I've driven enough to run the braking oil out of it after the dyno, change the oil. I mean, I've stood on this thing rolling, and first it sticks. It's dopey, that's why. Like, it jumps up and just. I think I put adjustable upper control arms in the back. I know Wayne and Paul were messing with the pinion angle, trying to get it good. I know they got it pretty good. It's tough getting the trans in there to fit with the angles, but it worked pretty good. I'm sure you give it another gear and another gear, it should start moving.
Oh yeah.
Tough.
You really would never know.
No, I mean it's tough. We're on streets here that this isn't the best handling car, but I mean it drives fine. But I don't want to get going too much faster than that around here. New England dragway, I'd send it. Even in fourth gear, look at it. Brakes work good. Good parts. It's a mile forged piston. It's an Eagle stroker kit, HP rod, a roller chain. cam button, truss plate. I forget everything we did for the hydraulic. It's got a very expensive lifter in it. It's got a comp, short travel. Gives a little more RPM. I turned it 6,500 on the dyno, no problem. 7-quart oil pan. All good part. Pro Magnum rockers. Good push rods, obviously. I just don't remember which ones. Like I said, look at the temperature code. Oil pressure. 5th gear. Cruising. Heat working. Take this to car show any day, right?
Oh yeah.
I take this to Gillette.
Cruise night, yeah.
Oh yeah. I think somebody will have some fun. And it's quiet.
It is pretty quiet.
I mean, would it be cool to have a 3-inch exhaust and big headers? And it does have the big Corvette style 427, 4 1/4 style manifold. They were on the engine. I thought it looked cool. It had the beautiful Gardner exhaust. I like it like this, even if it gave up a little bit of power. Yeehaw!